Hey guys.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hey Zach, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for taking the time to hang out for a minute. I know you guys are on the move with Brokers Tour and all that kind of good stuff.
Answer for you.
Yeah.
Anything for you.
So these guys are movers and shakers of Contra Costa County. So here's the deal. This is a great buyer's agent as well as a listing agent team. They work in Contra Costa County and all over the county actually. So I'll let you guys elaborate on that. But the goal is, right now it's busy. Buyers are competing out there. It's really tough to get accepted offers. And I wanted to ask you maybe both perspectives. From a listing agent, when you're sitting down and you see 10 different offers that are on the table, my question to you is maybe a little bit about how you pare down to take that winning offer, and then we'll move into maybe how you write a buyer's side as well after.
Sure. Well, there's always a number of factors that we're looking for. I'm always looking for who the agent is, was there contact made prior, any kind of rapport attempts. When the offer does come in, I'm always looking to see how well and cleanly it's written. Is there evidence that the agent, if I don't know them, do they know what's customary in our area, especially for what's going on in the market at the time? Because that tells me a lot about what I can expect from the transaction if we go forward. I'm looking for somebody who has a realistic grasp of what they need to tell their buyers so that they can complete an escrow process. I don't want to expose my sellers to any kind of situation where they may not be able to, complete a transaction. So there's a lot of little factors that go into it. The lender is really key, and we're all very judgmental when it comes to the real estate industry. We came out of a very tough time during the recession. And we've had a lot of bad experiences with some lenders, and so we're always looking to see who the lender is. Did the lender reach out to us too? Was there any vetting process on the lender side? How quickly can the lender perform? What kind of terms are being written? So those are very important factors. We're also looking at local lenders too. Local lenders seem to understand that it's important for their appraisal pool to be pretty tight, because if somebody's coming out from we've had them come out from like Modesto, and just understanding the neighborhood nuances is really important, and we can pretty much have a little bit more solid feel about how things are going to go if we know that the appraisal pool is coming out of a local area. So those are some of the things that I look for on the listing side.
This is great information. Buyers, listen to this. So, Simon, do you want to add to that a little bit? Maybe you're out
on
there
the buying
hustling.
side?
Yeah, or even listing
with
side.
buyers, you need to really start with just documentation. You've got to be organized. You want to make sure you've got the pre-approval with a lender such as you within like 2 weeks. We're looking for like bank statements. We want everything when we put the offer in goes in with the offer. So there's no question about how long it's going to take.
Okay, so you elaborate on that when you say you want the bank statement.
So I want a current bank statement that shows your assets for your down payment. And ideally within the country, not an external bank from another country. So I want current within probably about 3 weeks most. So once we have that, calling the listing agent and finding out what sort of activities on the property. I want to know if I'm going to convince 10 people or I'm going to put just like 2 or 3.
Okay.
Once we have that information, then we're going to go to the buyer and say, look, this is where the comp suggests this is where it's going to go. We want to make the first offer the best offer, so we don't want to be holding back money with the idea we're going to step up to a counter offer, because it's not going to happen. So once we've got that established with the buyer, get the offer together, talk to the lender, because I want the lender to be making calls to the listing agent too, because it's a 3-year process. If we can, present the offer in person. You see, puts a face on the offer, and it gives us 15 minutes just to talk with the other agent, which sometimes takes into half an hour, which is fine. We get remembered.
Yes.
So do that, put the offer in, get the lender to call as soon as we leave to tell everything that's good about the buyer, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, we get the offer accepted the next day.
I think something that you touched on, Simon, that if you don't mind, is that you talked about like writing the first offer to just win the first offer. And I think, can you elaborate on that just a little bit more? Because I think that is so key, because I'll talk with the buyer and I'll be like, if you wrote an offer on this property and you found out someone beat you by $5,000 tomorrow, would you have offered that $5,000? And 90% of the time. So
basically, I had that conversation. So if we think it's going to be tight, that conversation comes at $10,000. What does $10,000 represent? It represents about $50 a month. That's the difference. And how would you feel if you don't get the house and it's something with those sort of numbers? Because a lot of times it's the strength of the offer and just the amounts. Not the highest amount doesn't always work. Sometimes it's just the terms. So if we can pull down the timelines and get the lender to bring down the appraisal timeline, loan approval timeline, bring down the inspections as the minimum we can work with, and be aggressive with that, it's all attractive to the seller. That's what they always want to see.
This is great information, so take a lot of notes, you guys. But
Well, I can just, I can speak to the importance of that from the listing, side of the transaction, because we're looking for people who are ready to compete. They understand that they're going up against other buyers, and they're going to try to put their best foot forward. It's a lot of times it's a highest and best scenario, and even if the buyer isn't going to come up any further or change any of those terms, if we like that particular offer and there's another one that's almost exactly the same, we're going to be using all the other judgments that come into play besides the terms and the amount. That's why
who's on the other end, the local appraisers.
all of those
the
other
that
things
you're
are gonna maybe tip one versus the other, and in the end it always comes down to it's our client's choice who they're gonna pick. It's not my choice,
Sure.
right? But if you're my client and I tell you, look, Zach, I've got 3 really strong offers here, and we got a couple others that weren't strong. I'm gonna recommend that we hold off on entertaining these ones here for whatever reasons, right? I've had stuff.
Can you give an example?
I've had stuff written in pencil where it's like, okay, I don't even, and they didn't call. It was like, what's this?
Occasionally, we have actually received blank offers.
Oh.
Someone picked the wrong PDF to send to us. These are agents who don't call,
Oh.
so we have a completely blank transaction.
It's like they wrote
They don't
something
have
on
to do
another
that.
property. It came to us instead. So for whatever reason, here's the 3 that are really strong. And I can tell you, I've done business with this agent, or this agent called me. This agent is, got a client that's using a lender that we're familiar with. Actually, this lender here is one that we use regularly. It could be any number of those situations, but I'm going to be able to, to give my honest feedback with my seller and say, look, I feel strong for this reason that this one is going to be one that isn't going to put us in jeopardy. And I think that's not any different than any really good, strong listing agent is going to do when it comes to analyzing what gets put in front of them, and then they're going to convey that to their client. So we always try to counsel our buyers from that standpoint as well. We know what gets accepted. I've had many times in the past where I've taken a buyer's offer, presented in person to the agent. We didn't have a prior relationship. Had to go out of my way by 45 minutes, whatever, takes another hour possibly building rapport. But if I hadn't done that, that offer might not have gone anywhere. I've had FHA offers beat out cash offers because of that one little step. So you never know what is going to make the difference, but it's always a belly to belly thing at the end of the day. We've got all this technology that we use, but when it comes to really making sure that you're doing the best for your client, you can't get away from the fact that you're dealing with people, and so we try to leverage that as much as we can. And agents that do that on the other side of my listings, I respect that. I think that shows a lot of forethought, and it lets me know that is probably an agent that's not going to let things fall on the ground.
Yeah, this is great information. I mean, as a lender, for the same reason as a buyer, when you choose a realtor team, I will tell you, as of being a lender for 14 years, these are the guys that I love to work with because of this information that he's sharing. He plays to win, he knows what the business is about, and he helps people get the houses they want, and that's the key. I mean, we don't really want a buyer to have to go out there and write 12 offers before they find the house that they want. And this is the keys that you need to know for success. So I know you guys are super busy. I appreciate you taking the time to chat today. Thank you so much. Anything else, any final thoughts or anything you want us to cover here? So, all right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.